everyone. Topic mentioned generosity by Lifeway here. I want to introduce you to a thought that I have that might surprise you. Here's the thought. One, I think that tithing is a very limiting conversation. Now, let me assure you that I believe that tithing is a great financial principle, that I tithe, have as long as I can remember, tithe decades and decades and give beyond that, and always striving to be more and more generous. But let me unpack why I believe tithing is a very limiting conversation. Well, you have two extremes that we're always trying to impact in church, and one is the folks that are struggling financially, are struggling in their generosity journey, and so they already are walking in feeling maybe guilt and shame and heaviness. They really do want to be generous, but they just can't figure out how to get there. Then when we unload this tithing message, it can kind of heap shame and guilt upon them even more, even though it's not what you're intending to do. That can really be the experience they have, so they oftentimes tune you out. Then you have the folks who are serial tithers, folks who have been tithing now for years and decades, and it almost feels like they're paying their tithe or paying their bill. And I hope you don't use that language, paying your tithe. Nevertheless, that's how they feel. It's a box that they check, as opposed to this amazing expression of faith and love and joy. And so they've tuned us out as well when we preach on tithing and obedience, to God's law, because they're already doing it. Now listen, there are a lot of stories in the Bible that God asks us to give far more than 10%. There's a lot of them. My favorite story that indicates this is the story of Zacchaeus, right? He's been a believer for a short period of time, a matter of moments, and yet he gives away half of his income. So that's far more than 10%, but he did it in response to God's leadership. So I want to encourage you to think past the tithe, think beyond the tithe, think into God's life of generosity and make that our focus, not the drive towards the tithe. So go unleash giving today.